Hello, hello. We are back again and again. It's time to get rolling. Lots to discuss. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Courtesy Call, the podcast where I rant about politics, world affairs, and societal issues. I am your host, Scott Perry, and it is Sunday, August 8th, 2021, and yes, we are back again after another postponing of this episode, or of a episode. And again, I do apologize for postponing another episode. As I apologized in the last episode, episode 26, I explained as to why I have to keep skipping weeks. And for those who missed that episode, I mean, you can go check out episode 26 if you like. Or I'll explain it to you again on this episode as to why I have to keep skipping weeks. So, as some of you may know, I am a competitive runner for the summer. I run a 8 road race series. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. An 8 race road race series. There we go. Called the Capital Area Race Series, or CARS for short. And it takes place mostly on the weekends, right around the time that I would be producing each Courtesy Call episode. And when I originally signed up for CARS, I was not looking for it to interfere with Courtesy Call at all. I actually had time mapped out to actually have a good time slot to do both, to produce this episode and to be able to participate in the Capital Area Race Series. But what's going on is that other commitments and other things, as you know, I'm a very, very busy guy. So I had other commitments and other responsibilities and deals kind of switch on me. So it kind of like bumped right into the extra time that I would have on some weeks to produce Courtesy Call. And I would have to attend to those that are a little bit more important, unfortunately. So that is the reason for why I have to keep postponing, because I just wouldn't have a sufficient amount of time to produce a legitimate episode of Courtesy Call during that week. So I thought it'd be best to, kind of postpone it to a week where I am able to have a little bit more time to produce an episode. So that's what's going on. I foresee this happening, to be honest. I mean, I'm not going to be like, this will never happen again, because I honestly foresee this happening 2 more times before we get back onto regular scheduling. 2 more times, and it will be actually next week for episode 28, will be postponed until, I believe, the 22nd. Instead of the 15th, which is a week from today. So the 22nd, so 2 weeks from today, episode 28 of Courtesy Call will be available for download on ipmnation.com. So hang in there for those who listen frequently and have been looking forward to each episode each and every week. I thank you. I thank you for your support. I definitely appreciate it. Just hold on 2 more times. The other time, I believe, is going to be sometime in September, like next month, when I have to postpone another episode. So, all right. So, things will get back to normal soon. I hope everyone's been fine. Hope everybody's been good. Hope everybody's been enjoying their week, being productive, doing the right thing. So, I've been pretty busy as well. And I'll discuss more about that later. But let's get into headlines, shall we? Wow, so much has gone on. So much has happened in the past couple of weeks. First thing I'd like to talk about, one of the things that was on my list of things to discuss, was President Biden. Our wonderful President Biden announced, I believe it was nearly 2 weeks ago, that he was going to want to pass a bill to give those who get vaccinated from now on, or have been getting vaccinated lately, a $100 payment incentive. Yeah, as I read in the headlines and all over the headlines of news all over the online streaming and online, is that he was looking to give those who get vaccinated $100 as an incentive for getting vaccinated, because right now the vaccination rates are very low still. We need to get vaccination rates at a higher rate, And, something needs to be done to motivate people to get vaccinated, to do the right thing, to do the responsible thing. And it says here on one of my sites I like to use for referencing that I trust dearly is the NHPR. So I believe it's New Hampshire Public Radio here in the Granite State. It's part of NPR, which is National Public Radio. And it says here that reading it on here on this article that they posted, I believe on the 30th of last month, the 30th of July. It says President Biden has called on states and localities, to do more to encourage people to get vaccinated, including paying them $100. For many states, offering incentives to get the jab is not new. From baseball tickets to pre-rolled marijuana joints and even lotteries totaling up to $5 million in some cases, several spots in the U.S. have gotten creative to get vaccinations in arms, to get the needles in people's arms. But do incentives work? Yes and no, they say. Financial incentives have motivated some people to get vaccinated. Ohio's announcement of the Vaccination lottery boosted vaccination rates by 28% in less than a week, according to the Ohio Department of Health. The state has also already offered $100 incentive programs, and as have New Mexico and Colorado. Surveys done by UCLA researchers reported that around 1/3 of unvaccinated individuals said they would get vaccine for cash. But states, and get this, but in the states such as Arkansas, vaccination rates remain low despite incentive programs. And while incentives in other states have had better luck, their success has been short-lived in many cases, including Ohio's. Now, here's my take on this. Okay. To pay people $100 to get vaccinated, I think that the fact that we have to go this low or have to take these measures is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I think people should be getting vaccinated regardless of payment or not. Just the fact to know that if you come in contact with the virus and if you contract the virus, that you can get severely ill if you're not fully vaccinated. You can experience the full symptoms of the virus. Just knowing that, and knowing that the vaccine, if getting fully vaccinated, can prevent you from experiencing severe symptoms if you contract the virus, is that's enough for me. That's enough for me. That should be enough for everybody to want to get fully vaccinated. I think most states should look at it in that aspect. But of course, you got, states out Midwest who are completely stubborn, that you could tell them facts and truth and, try to plug all the smart, intelligent material to them as much as possible. They're still not going to get it. They're smart proof. I'm sorry. I mean, I have some friends there in the Midwest that live out there. Does everybody in the Midwest and down south smart proof? No, I think majority of the population is because of the nature of the people down there. You're talking about people who, you present them facts in front of their faces that there was no election fraud whatsoever, and they still don't believe it. They call you a liar, and they'll make up any excuse to, claim that there was election fraud. And you put other scenarios in front of their faces that prove that, this is fact and this is truth, and they still just it doesn't sink into them. So I'm not surprised that the states on Midwest are still low and remain low, and incentives are not working. You could present these guys with $1 million and a go F Hillary sign, and they still would be like, I don't know, I'm not still getting vaccinated. It's sad. It's really sad. It's sad we have to take these measures. Now, looking on, the side for President Biden now, should he be issuing, $100 to people? No. And I think that this is getting ridiculous. But I do agree that something else needs to be done. Some other alternative needs to be, brought out there, considering that it seems like no matter what alternatives you throw at people, they're just not going to take it. So it's sad. It's sad. So, I mean, do what you need to do, But just note that I do not foresee this going very far or doing, much for, pushing people to get vaccinated. I don't think it's going to be that effective. Money always talks, as I always said, money talks. But I think there's some situations where, it's ineffective. So, okay. I'm in support of President Biden, giving $100 to people being vaccinated. I just think it's ridiculous that he has to take these measures to increase the numbers. Okay. It's safe. It's not harmful. It's fine. You're going to be good. All right. Stop feeding into conspiracy theories and all this nonsense information. You are fine. You are fine. Okay. Get yourself vaccinated. Get yourself fully vaccinated. I'll touch up on this later in the episode. So, all right. What else is going on in the headlines? Shooting at the Pentagon. I don't know if many of you heard about this. I think it was about a week and a half ago. But there was a shooting at the Pentagon that I believe claimed the life of one police officer, an off-duty police officer that worked at the Pentagon. So, very sad. Shootings are increasing. Not surprised. Shootings been happening on a rate, I think, 2 or 3 a week. I think that's been the rate lately. Just way too much. Way too many shootings happening. One is way too many, but this is just astronomically ridiculous. This is way too much. According to CNN.com, another source that I trust frequently, as some of you frequent listeners may know, posted the article, the report about it on the 3rd of this month, which was, I believe, this past week. So this is past week. Okay. This is past week. And they said it says a police officer died Tuesday, it was last Tuesday, after shots were fired outside the Pentagon building, according to 3 law enforcement sources. The Pentagon Force Protection Agency, which oversees the security of the Pentagon, confirmed the officer's death in a tweet late Tuesday, hours after report first surfaced. The Pentagon Force Protection Agency mourns the tragic loss of a Pentagon police officer killed during this morning's incident, or, back on the 2nd and 3rd, but at the Pentagon. And our thoughts and prayers are with the officer's family. Additional info on the officer will be forthcoming following full next of kin notification, it said. The exact circumstances of the shooting incident are still unclear, and Pentagon officials offered little clarity during a press briefing Tuesday afternoon. Speaking to reporters, Pentagon Force Protection Agency Chief Woodrow Cussy, reportedly declined to provide substantive details about what occurred and would not confirm or deny reports that an officer had died, citing an ongoing investigation. Now, this is still fresh. This was right off the press, right when it happened. To get more information about it, it looks like they have more information about him. It looks like here it says that it was the Pentagon Force Protection Agency, which is PFPA, identified the officer killed in a stabbing. So it was a stabbing, turned into a shooting near the Pentagon Metro Station Tuesday morning. The Pentagon police officer George Gonzalez was a Brooklyn, New York native and a 3-year veteran of the Pentagon Force Protection Agency. According to the PFPA, the FBI says Gonzalez was attacked without provocation by a man later identified as 27-year-old Austin William Lands of Ashworth, Georgia, when he stepped off the bus at the Pentagon Transit Center. There's a comment here. It says, a struggle ensued in which the subject mortally wounded Officer Gonzalez and then shot himself with the officer's service weapon. The FBI tweeted Wednesday, other PFPA officers engaged the subject who ultimately died at the scene, or succumbed at the scene. So this is wild. This is wild. So yes, the officer identified as the officer who was the victim was Officer George Gonzalez. He served in Iraq. He served in the military, of course, like most of these guards do. And he served in Iraq. I don't see how many times. It says Gonzalez tried to Iraq. Let's see more information about him. He was in Iraq, South Korea. He served his country well. Very respectful military man. Who he said, we fought together in Ramadi, Iraq. He said Wednesday. I guess this was a friend of Gonzalez, and said, they fought together in Ramadi, Iraq. He said on Wednesday from his home in Florida, he was just a great kid and very sad. He was a very respectful, well-liked, so they did very well, great things for his country. Send condolences, deepest condolences to the Gonzalez family, and hope they more recover well. So it's highly unfortunate. These stabbings, shootings, these violent acts, happening out of nowhere. This needs to stop. This is getting ridiculous. Because people can't handle the anger because they have their own beliefs, and some things are invading their beliefs, and they don't agree with it, so they feel the best way to handle it is to go, commit a violent act, go shoot up a building, go shoot up a supermarket, go stab someone, commit violent outrage. This is inappropriate. Yes, obviously people need to have control of their anger. People need to, have self-control and not commit these violent acts. However, I think that, the United States, this country has a responsibility. The government has a responsibility in this. Did they commit the act? No. But as, they are, the government body is, security is a big part of it. I think that there needs to be something done about this. They need to do something about trying to, I would say, try to create more anger management facilities or more behavioral impaired institutions. And I think that the government also needs to encourage, people to seek mental health help with their mental health, and seek, some aid. I also believe that, there needs to be, some law put into place. There needs to be some law put into place that, where people are required, if you have a previous record, or if you're foreseen for having violent acts in the past. I understand anybody, even someone without a record, could turn violent. I understand that. But I just think that, if there was more mandates to seek help with mental health, and also seek help with anger management, I think that these violent acts would diminish. Would it completely go away? No. Would it diminish dramatically? Yes. I think the numbers would drop dramatically. So I think there needs to be encouragement for anger management sessions, anger management groups. I also think that there needs to be some sort of law put into place to enforce security within this country, and to prevent people from committing violent acts. It's not going to completely go away, but the number could drop dramatically. It's at an extreme high. And, with shootings, stabbings, and violent acts, it needs to go way down. Okay, this is ridiculous. So, again, send my deepest condolences to Officer Gonzalez's family and friends, and I hope they recover very well. This is extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. So, all right. Now, speaking of extremely unfortunate, another thing that's been occurring lately that has been outrageous and needs to be diminished at a high, or needs to be brought to an ultimate low: sexual harassment. And yes, I'm taking a shot right now at Governor of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo, and his sexual harassment investigation is not looking very good for him. So let's see what the latest is on that. And again, I'm back on NHPR's website and, New Hampshire Public Radio, National Public Radio, and NPR. It says this. The latest says a woman who accused New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of groping her has now filed a criminal complaint against him. Good. You should. The woman filed her complaint last Thursday, with the Albany County Sheriff's Office. Her account was also included in the State Attorney General's investigation report released this past week, that said Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women and created a hostile work environment. Wow. In the state's investigation report, the woman is described as an executive assistant to Cuomo and says that the governor reached under the woman's shirt and grabbed her breast. Cuomo's attorney, Rita Glavlin, did not address the criminal complaint during a nearly hour-long news conference last Friday. Cuomo has denied that he touched anyone inappropriately. The governor's communications director, Richard Asparty, told NPR in a statement that they proactively referred the case to the Albany police in March when it first became public. I remember hearing about this. I remember, adding my 2 cents worth, last March when this came about. Approval ratings for Cuomo have dropped significantly. I am shocked. No, you're kidding me, right? Since the Attorney General's report came out, a Quinnipiac poll conducted in the days following the 165-page reports released shows that 7 out of 10 New Yorkers voters think the governor should resign, and 55% think he should be charged with a crime. Nearly 2/3 of voters think Cuomo should be impeached from office. My take on this? I agree. There are way too many accusations coming out for him to be completely innocent. Come on. 11 women have come out and, claimed that he sexually harassed them. And it's one thing, like if you have a couple of them and it's been years ago and you're doing really well, you're very successful, that's one thing, but he's been governor, the same status for years, and 11 women from all different ages, different situations. So it's looking like, I'm going to say that there's a good chance he is guilty. And when you're guilty of sexual harassment, even if it's one woman, you got to go. If it's a woman, man, someone who's non-binary, it doesn't matter. You sexually harass anyone, any form of sexual harassment, you got to go, especially if you're a public figure or working in office. Any job, really. So I think that Cuomo has a lot he needs to own up to. I think that he needs to come clean. I know his brother, Chris Cuomo, who was an anchor on CNN, has subliminally, kind of accused or admitted that his brother can be that way. I watched the interview that he had with him. I think it was like about a month and a half ago. I think when the accusations first came out, the very first couple of accusations, he interviewed his brother on CNN and told him, "Listen, brother, you got to come clean. I mean, not everybody else knows you, but I know you. Nobody else knows you, but I know you. You need to do the right thing." Is pretty much subliminally what he said on CNN. So, it's looking pretty evident that Governor Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, will be will be held guilty. Will be found guilty. That he is guilty of sexual harassment. It is disgusting. It is disgusting. You have to keep a workplace professional. A workplace is not for you to, conduct your fantasies. I'm sure. Do I think people have sex in offices? Of course, I think they do. I think there's a lot of business offices out there, and just in this country, just in New England, where people are having sex, but they, consensually do it. Do I think they should take it to their bedroom or to their house? Yes. I think that would probably be a better place. But, we all have fantasies. We all have things that we like to do and things that we want to, portray in certain areas. So, I just think that, like, in any situation, if you're thinking about doing, committing a sexual act, you got to make sure it's consensual. Okay. Don't ever commit a sexual act and it not be okay with the other person. Okay. Talk, communicate, work things out. Sex is great. Very sex positive. That is awesome. But not to sexually harass someone, not to do it without their consent, and not to make others feel uncomfortable. And Governor Cuomo seems like he has done that 11 times, if not more. We don't know. We only have 11 women now. Who knows how many more women will come forward as this thing progresses. So we shall see. All right, well, we're going to take our first commercial break of the episode. When we come back, I am going to go into President Biden's infrastructure bill, or infrastructure plan, as more details have developed from that since we last talked about it, or since I last talked about it. And I'm also going to talk about this new interesting theory that the former guy has about election fraud. It has to deal with temperature. So I'll explain when we come back, so don't go anywhere. Plenty to come here on Courtesy Call.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Subarus are made for winter with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, so you can help your friend when they break down in the middle of nowhere. Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand. That's a Subaru.
Morning. Can I have a coffee, please?
We can do better than that. How about an acorn spiced latte?
No, thanks.
What about a nitro charcoal brew with dry ice?
Oh, no.
The charcoal purifies the soul.
Just a regular coffee is fine. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk milks. We got okra milk, we have sloth milk, and then we have fresh unicorn milk. Only $12 extra. Isn't that right, Caliber?
Whoa. I'll just do half and half. And my coffee?
Okay, but first, Fomart. Ta-da!
Okay, you know what? This is ridiculous. I just want a coffee. I'm sorry.
Why does everyone leave us?
This Bud Light Seltzer lemonade is packed with lemonade flavor.
Yeah, it even has more flavor than my grandma's lemonade.
She still lives here, right?
Yeah, it even has more flavor than grandma's lemonade.
Oh, no.
Guess her hearing is better than we thought.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. Packed with more flavor than Grandma's lemonade.
Every morning, I thought I had to make a choice. Do I use a toothpaste that whitens my teeth or one that's good for my teeth? Now I don't have to choose. My dentist told me about Crest Whitening Therapy. So I tried it.
From Crest 3D White comes whitening therapy. It's our best whitening technology. Plus, it has a fortifying formula to protect your enamel.
Now I get a whiter smile and healthy teeth all in one.
The 3D White collection from Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Oh, just one.
Jake from State Farm, it's the least I can do. You really did me a solid with that, Maya markdown on my insurance.
Here's the deal, Maya. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
No, really, there are no markdowns, just great rates.
Pull around back in 20 minutes. I'll hook you up with the good parts.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. Before we went to the commercial break, I went into, first I apologized again for missing another week or having to postpone the episode another week, or postpone it again. I apologize and explained why to those who did not listen to episode 26, who were frequent listeners, who may want to know like what is going on. So I explained that. I also went into some headlines. One of them was President Biden's $100 incentive for those who are unvaccinated to be vaccinated. You know, those who get vaccinated will receive $100. And as a motivation to get vaccinated, I shared my 2 cents about that. 2 cents worth of that. I also discussed and talked about a little bit about the tragic shooting at the Pentagon and the extremely unfortunate death of a Pentagon officer, who I send my deepest condolences to his friends, both his friends and family, and hope that they recover well from this. So, and whatnot. It'll take time either way, but still, you know. I also, right before we took a commercial break, I shared more information on the developments of the sexual harassment investigation that is going on against Governor of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo, and say it's not looking good for him, as 11 women have came forward claiming different situations where they were sexually harassed by Governor Cuomo, and how Governor Cuomo should come clean about it and stop denying it. That 11 women seems like that seems a little bit much for it just to be, you know, false information, and for him to be completely innocent here. So if you have any questions or comments that pertain to anything that's discussed on this episode or previous episodes, you can always reach out on both our Facebook or Twitter pages, which our Facebook is facebook.com/Courtesy Call Podcast, and our Twitter is @CourtesyCall4U. That is the @ symbol, Courtesy Call, the number 4, and an uppercase letter U. So let me know what you think. You know, if you have any questions, I'll look to answer them and address it, you know, like the comments and the questions, both on next episode, which will be episode 28, which I've said earlier, opening up the episode, that it will probably not be until on the 22nd of this month. So just 2 weeks from now, because I have to postpone the episode 28 to the following week. So, all right. Well, for those who have listened to many episodes of Courtesy Call, you know what's next. This is part in the episode where I plug local businesses. And yes, the same local businesses that could use help because they felt the impact from the pandemic last year and could use some support. So without further ado, here we go. Moe's Italian Sandwiches, making the original since 1959, with locations all over the Granite State, including one in Dover, one in Portsmouth, and one here in Concord, New Hampshire. D Designs, for those looking to get their artwork done for either their website or business logo, feel free to contact Danielle Festa Keefe at dgraphicsnh.com. That is dgraphicsnh.com. Danielle Festa Keefe is not only a great graphic art designer, but she's also a very talented painter, and would like you to check out her artwork from the comfort of your own home, as she has developed and designed a virtual reality art gallery on her Facebook page, I believe, and her website. You can go on both her Facebook page, which is Danielle Festa Keefe, and I believe she provided a link somewhere on there promoting her virtual reality art gallery. And what she did is she kind of built and constructed this virtual reality gallery, and put her paintings in the program, in the software, and uploaded it, and had like I said, she's created a VR art gallery, which is really cool. So if you like art and you appreciate fine paintings, and you want to just stay in your home and check out wonderful paintings, you can do it on our Facebook page or dgraphics.com. But I would also, consider checking out the VR gallery because it's very interactive and it feels like you're actually there. So you can click on the link, register, and you're good to go. That is Danielle Festa-Keefe. And again, you can reach her out at dgraphicsnh.com. Crawl Space Audio. If you're looking to do any audio projects such as podcasts, or you're a musician looking to record your work, please feel free to reach out to Dave Swillem at 603-275-2020. That is 603-275-2020. The Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. They serve wonderful baked goods such as pies, cakes, cupcakes, dessert logs, cannolis, but what they're best known for is their eclairs. If you love eclairs, these are amazing. They're amazing. They're nice, good size. The custard is not too sweet. It's done just right, very medium, but very rich. The frosting on top, the chocolate fudge frosting, is the same way. It's nice and decadent, and you'll definitely enjoy it. If you think eclairs are okay or kind of like them, you'll really love them after having one at the Cake Fairy Bakery. They're just great. They're great. So that's that's the Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. Speaking of bakeries, Clem's Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. They also serve wonderful baked goods such as pies, cakes, cannolis, eclairs, cupcakes. But what they're best known for is their donuts. That's right. If you love donuts, you'll definitely appreciate this place. They have all the wonderful traditional kinds, anywhere from glazed, old-fashioned. They have chocolate cake donut. They also have your jelly and your Boston creams. But their best donuts, in my opinion, are both their vanilla cream filled and their chocolate cream filled, which is amazing. I mean, they make all their donuts fresh. They bake all their donuts fresh. Okay. And, but it's done nice and soft. The cream is also not rich. It's very decadent. It's right in the middle. It's done just right. So, definitely make it out to Clem's Bakery. That is KLEMMS Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. All right. So let's get back into the swing of things. So, the former guy. Okay, we all know who I'm referring to when I say the former guy, right? Yes. His last name begins with a T, rhymes with dump. This ridiculous guy, has new developments on his new theory of how the election was stolen and to prove that there was, in fact, election fraud. As headlines read, the environmental lawyer tried to weaponize the Justice Department to help the former president. This is an interesting story, and this is an interesting kind of piece right here. So, I would stay put for this one. According to CNN, again, one of the most trusted sources out there that I use frequently, says that Jeffrey Clark. And this is an article that they posted, I believe it was last Friday. Last Friday they posted this article. And it says, that Jeffrey Clark, a Donald Trump appointed environmental law chief at the Justice Department at the center of the former president's efforts to overturn the election, received a high-level intelligence briefing around New Year's 2021 that did little to stop his efforts to prove foreign interference had cost him re-election. Clark is now a major figure in a narrative being written in documents and testimony from former Justice Department officials who were forced to fight off his efforts to orchestrate a coup of leadership at the Justice Department and use it to help the former president. A stark portrayal of Clark is emerging from former the former guy appointed officials from the former guy who were alarmed by his back-channel efforts to the White House and to Trump allies who now are, providing testimony to congressional committees. Richard Donahue, acting Deputy Attorney General, beginning in late December, provided a closed-door interview to the Senate Judiciary Committee on Friday. Jeffrey Rosen, the acting Attorney General at the time, is set to provide testimony in the coming days. A new House Select Committee examining events surrounding the January 6th Capitol attack also plans to ask for testimony from them and other witnesses. By late December, as the former guy and his allies pushed conspiracies about alleged irregularities that he claims stole the election from him, Clark told senior justice officials that he knew of sensitive information that indicated Chinese intelligence used special kinds of, get this, hold your breath for a second, use special kinds of thermometers to change results in machines, tallying votes. People briefed on the matter said the Justice Department by then had made clear it found no evidence of vote changing in the election. How ridiculous do we have to get? Come on. Thermometers change a machine. He's going all angles, every nick and cranny, anything. If he has, if there's no proof of it, he wants to do it. He wants to go there and say, yeah, this is what it was. And then he gets shot down and it's like, okay, now let's go try something new. It's the lasers. First, it's Jewish space lasers are starting fires, but it also could help prevent him re-election. Then we're going to go into, the machines were having issues. There was inside jobs. There was foreign interference, rocket ships, moon, cheese, butter, milk. I don't know. It seems like he's definitely trying to dig for any excuse to shed any light to arouse the idea that the election was stolen this past election, that Biden's not president and the former guy should be president. It's getting to this. It's getting very, very sad, and it's annoying. We have the right not to pay attention to it, but you can't help it when you read headlines like this. The former guy suspects thermometers interference with the election, and it's just getting it's been comical. It's just getting even more comical. I feel like this is like a comical marathon that just really never ends. It seems like it doesn't. It will eventually. It's just taking quite a long time. But this is getting very humorous and very entertaining. Anything to arouse the idea. And there's a chance he is doing this so that way he can have people continue to donate to him to find the truth, to find the answers, to find the actual cause of, the non-existent voter fraud. So, yeah. So former guy, I can't believe I cursed. I apologize. The former guy, I would urge you to just give it a break. Give it a rest. Accept your defeat officially and finally accept your defeat. Morally, just come out and say, okay, I lost the election because I pissed off so many people, because I misled the country almost entirely. I did only maybe a couple good things. Other than that, I did almost nothing but ruin the country and run it to the ground nearly. I messed a lot of things up. And maybe I should be held accountable for it. Maybe I shouldn't be president. Maybe I had no business being in office in the first place. Maybe I'm just not a presidential figure. Accept it. Accept that people didn't want you to become president. You abused your privilege. People saw it, and they didn't want you to become their leader anymore. You had people that didn't want you to become their leader in the first place. But then you had people that switched over from your supporters to now supporting the other side because, they didn't give too much of your shit. They decided to vote against you because they didn't like what you did. And they disagree with a lot of things that you did initially. So you lost a lot of voters since the 2016 election. And in the 2020 election, boom, that showed. That surfaced. You did not deserve a second term. So give it a rest, accept it like an adult, and even athletes in sports, even athletes accept their defeat, even if they fully agree with it or not. They can have doubts, but they just shut up eventually and sit down and focus on the next. They don't continue to arouse conspiracy theories and BS. So that's pretty much what that's about. So hopefully he will finally, keep my fingers crossed, that he will finally give it up and accept his defeat. Not holding our breath, right? So, all right. So let's get into something that is more productive, something that's more factual, and that has to do with our current leader, who is a real leader, who is fit to be president, our current president, who is, actually doing good for the country. Yes, I'm talking about President Biden's infrastructure bill, which I think that I've talked about it numerous times, but I also said that if there's any developments with the infrastructure bill that I would, address it here on the show. So Biden's infrastructure bill is going a long way right now, and is doing its thing. President Joe Biden, and this is according to, this is CNN as well, still CNN. It's actually technically the Politico, which is, I believe, an offset from CNN or whatnot. It says that President Joe Biden has billed the $1 trillion infrastructure investment and a package under consideration in the Senate as critical to keeping the U.S. ahead of China. Now, by the way, this article was posted yesterday. So this is fresh, nearly fresh off the press. It also states in February, he told senators that Beijing's infrastructure investments were far outpacing Washington's, and warned that without similar investment, China, that is going to eat our lunch, as he says. He better guard that proverbial midday meal closely, because Chinese leader Xi Jinping, is already digging in. It also says that Biden's signature effort to the bipartisan infrastructure deal, the Senate will likely approve this weekend, includes the $550 billion in new funding for roads. Good. We could use new roads and new building of roads and bridges and highways, because they look horrendous. At least around here they do. Without union milking. No union milking here, please. No. But yes, it is $550 billion in new funding for roads, bridges, railways, broadband, and electrical vehicle technology, among other areas as well. And it also says that number doesn't reflect what America's states, cities, and counties, not to mention the private sector, will spend over the same 10-year period. Although U.S. accounting regulations don't obligate firms to disclose details of capital spending, publicly available data on private sector infrastructure spending patterns underscore the scale of their contribution. The Washington, D.C. based Progressive Policy Institute estimates, that's a group, I believe, that capital investment by U.S. broadband providers, including AT&T and Verizon, totaled $52 billion in the first half of fiscal year of 2020 alone. But also says, but a review of proposed spending in Beijing's latest annual budget and 5-year plan indicate that the U.S. faces an enormous challenge merely in keeping up. Here's a number to illustrate the gap China's poured, and it provides a chart and breaks it down, all the numbers for you. You can check that out on Politico.com, and you can also look it up and Google it and search for it. But if you're very well interested in the infrastructure bill, you can check that out and see how it's doing against China's infrastructure bill, and kind of, kind of make your own assumptions there. My assumption is I think this is good. I believe that we are a little behind compared to other countries like China. I think that some of these things should have been taken care of years ago. I griped about it years ago and said, this looks unkept. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. And we took a long time doing stuff. Like the U.S. government is known to do, we take a very long time in getting simple things done, because of the process, because of how the procedures go, how the process is to getting things done here. It takes way too long. There needs to be some rebuilding. There needs to be some reconstruction of the government. I know. No kidding, right? That's been going on for years. People have been proposing that for years. But to me, it's just, if any time, this really needs to be done sooner rather than later. I mean, they really need to come up with some different system to get things passed quicker and to get things done quicker, sufficiently, but quicker. And so that way we can get things done at a decent rate, at a quicker pace, because like other countries, I mean, they're already getting a lot more things done in their country. Their roads are already paved. The highways are already done. Their technology's up to date. Their technology has gotten, definitely a sufficient amount of funding, and they're doing very well. Here, we're just slacking behind. United States, falling behind. I know, shocker. So I think that this bill is good. I think that President Biden's correct, that China's going to eat our lunch if we don't get on this quickly. And I think getting on it quickly is key, and getting this bill into effect to help our country be sufficient, stronger, more adaptive, and be able to take care of the things that need to be taken care of environmentally and other things as well here in the United States as soon as possible. So that's good. So bravo, and bravo for our current president, and hope that bill gets passed quick. So all right. Well, speaking of progression here in the United States and the world, it's time for me to give you the latest numbers on COVID-19 and the vaccinations. So these numbers were pulled from yesterday, which was Saturday, August 7th, 2021, and are as follows. So here in the United States, we have a total of 35,733,875 total cases, with sadly and very unfortunate 616,257 total deaths. Worldwide, we have a total of 201,237,468 total cases worldwide, with sadly and very unfortunate 4,272,786 total deaths. Here in the Granite State, New Hampshire, we have a total of 101,662 total cases, with sadly and very unfortunate 1,389 total deaths. Very sad and very unfortunate. Cases are going up. The rates of fatalities, that's going, that's very plateaued and going down even. Definitely has gone down a bit. But the number of cases are going to rise, and it seems like a shocker, very alarming rate. But you have to think, how many of these people are fully vaccinated? Because if you are fully vaccinated, there's really nothing to worry about. You will be safe, and if you contract the virus, you will experience low to mild symptoms at the very, very most. However, if you're not fully vaccinated, then you should worry, as if you contract the virus, you could suffer severe symptoms from it, which is why you should be fully vaccinated, why you should get fully vaccinated. It takes next to no effort, to keep yourself safe and to keep others safe in a way. I will be honest and tell you that I believe, that, I know for a fact, we all know that the vaccine does not prevent COVID, does not cure COVID. All right. It just prevents you from suffering severe symptoms. So with that being said, you should definitely get yourself fully vaccinated to keep yourself safe. Now, the numbers are going to continue to grow. They're going to, because like I've said before many, many times, the vaccine does not cure COVID, does not cure the virus. It just prevents you from suffering severe symptoms from it when you contract it, if you contract it, which I believe a lot of us will eventually. It's just all about whether you're protected or not, with the vaccine. So it just, like I said, just makes simple sense, just makes common sense, to get yourself fully vaccinated. So if you're not fully vaccinated, I strongly recommend you to, still wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, and avoid large gatherings. Because, to keep yourself safe. Definitely keep yourself safe and keep others safe. However, if you have been fully vaccinated, go out, enjoy, wonderful sporting events, concerts, social gatherings, social events all over the place, large groups, enjoy, have fun if you're fully vaccinated. As the CDC has permitted that months ago, and has stated months ago that if you are fully vaccinated, that you should be able to go out and enjoy social events again. And things have opened up again. We have sporting events that are nearly at full capacity of the Olympics. But most sporting venues have opened at full capacity. That's both baseball, football, basketball falls suit this fall, and hockey has as well, which I cannot wait because I'm looking forward to going to my first Bruins game in like over a year or so. But yes, I will be going back to the TD Garden to go see the Bruins this October, and I will. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Bruins in action, live again. So looking forward to that. So yeah. So get yourself fully vaccinated. All right, do it. Speaking of vaccinations, I'm now going to give you the latest numbers of vaccination rates here in the U.S., in the world, and here in the Granite State. So again, these numbers were pulled from yesterday, which was Saturday, August 7th, 2021, and are as follows. So here in the United States, we have a total number of 349,787,479 total vaccines given. Okay, total doses given here in the United States, with a total of 165,918,256 people who have been fully vaccinated here in the United States. Yeah, which gives a total number or total percentage of 50.3% of the U.S. population. 50.3%, which is amazing. That's a lot higher than it was a couple of weeks ago. I know that. It was like in the high 40s, as far as that, as far as percentage goes. And it's now up to the 50s, a little above 50. A little higher than 50%. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I believe it was at the lower 300 millions. Now it's in the upper 300 millions, or almost mid 300 million. So, if those people who got the first dose were just to get their second dose, that number will increase dramatically. Because it tells me here, if it's been a total of 349 million, a little over 349 million people who have gotten at least one dose. I've been total doses given, and there's only 165 million, a little over 165 million people who have been fully vaccinated. That tells me there's a little over 100 and something million people who should be getting one more shot, should get in their second dose. And, if all of them do it, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing, because that number would skyrocket. But if at least like half of them were to do that, that'd be fantastic. So get yourself fully vaccinated, please. Worldwide, let's see, worldwide. Wow, we're looking at a total of 4 billion, almost the whole population, 4 billion, 399,234,109 total doses given around the worldwide, with a total of, get this, 1,191,535,085 people who've been fully vaccinated worldwide, which is, believe it or not, that's only 15.3% of the world's population who've been fully vaccinated. So we got to step it up, guys. Got to step it up. Got to get another like 30 or 40. Actually, let's make that more 50. 50% more need to be need to be fully vaccinated. So we need at least like 4 or 5 billion more. So it'll be fantastic. Here in the Granite State, look at a total of 1,682,105, which pretty much maxed at the New Hampshire rate, for New Hampshire population. That's max for total doses given. Now, out of that number, 795,930 people have been fully vaccinated, which gives us, believe it or not, 58.5% of the Granite State's population who have been fully vaccinated. So that's a higher rate than it was 2 weeks ago. I know that for a fact, and that's a higher rate in percentage-wise than the United States. Of course, that is because we have a lot less population here in New Hampshire than the rest of the U.S., so that makes sense. But as far as doses given, I believe we've hit the max as far as like total doses. But there's still, if there's only 795,000 out there who've only received the dose, then there's another, like, I would say probably around 600,000 people who need to get their second dose. It doesn't make sense to only get one dose if you're not going to get the other. You pretty much already got the same shot you're about to get. It's just your body's recognizing on the first dose of what it is they're looking to fight off, and the immune system is looking exactly what their target is, the blueprint of their target, and then the second shot gives a replica. It's not the exact target. It gives you a replica of that target, and they just neutralize it. Now your body definitely recognizes it and knows what it needs to do to fight it off when the actual virus comes through. Knows how it's going to fight it right away and take care of it. So that's the purpose of the vaccine. That's what this vaccine does. It's not harmful. It just makes you feel a little weird for maybe 3 days to a week. And then after that, you might be a little sick here and there. But after that, you'll be fully healthy and you'll be protected and you'll be, safe to go out and do things, and we'll be secured. We'll be safe. If you contract the virus, you'll suffer low to moderate symptoms at the very most. So, and you'll be good to go. So, definitely get yourself fully vaccinated, please. All right. Well, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, it will be the Headhunt segment and two societal topics of my choice. Still more to come here on Courtesy Call.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Coming in to get a deal that includes existing customers. He'd probably buy maple. We'll give him an even 6 foot. It's this guy!
Wait. Did I just hear existing customers can get a deal?
Yep, at AT&T, new and existing customers get our best deal on all smartphones.
That's pretty great. You think it looks 6 foot?
I sure do. Kind of.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives new and existing customers the same great deals on all smartphones. Get up to $800 off our latest 5G smartphones.
Oh my, with Chase Freedom Unlimited, I earn all this cash back? Oh, I gotta tell everyone. Hey Rita, you can earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
Bon appetit.
Hey Kim, you earn 5% on travel purchase through Chase.
Way ahead of you.
Hey Neil, you can earn 3% at drugstores.
Buddy, I'm right here. Why are you yelling?
Because that's what I do. You're always earning with 5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase. 3% at drugstores, 3% on dining, including takeout, and 1.5% on everything else you buy. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Building a better bank starts with looking at something old and saying, really? So Capital One is building something completely new. Capital One Cafes. Inviting places with people here to help you, not sell you. And savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, because that's how it should be. You can open one from right here or anywhere in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
The greatest stories don't have to end.
If we do this, we're gonna do it our own way.
They can expand, evolve, connect each generation to the next. The stories continue. Only on Disney Plus.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. Before the break, I talked a little bit about, well, actually went into President Biden's infrastructure bill and new developments on that, and his take on our bill versus China's bill, and how China is going to eat our lunch, as he says. So, and I was in full agreement, and I had my 2 cents worth about that, and was in full support of the bill, and hope that it gets signed quickly and put into effect quickly, as our country really could use it and really needs it. I went to a humorous piece about the former guy and his new appointed environmental staff, claiming that now thermometers were in effect or into play for foreign interference that supposedly rigged the last election. So, and shared my humorous thoughts about that and such. And then, kind of picked around and made fun a little bit, like I usually will do. So, I also give out the latest numbers of COVID-19 and the vaccinations, and encourage you, if you have not yet been fully vaccinated, to get your second dose immediately. And if you have not received any doses, please get vaccinated, as it helps our country, it helps the world, helps make sure that you and others stay safe. So do it up. A lot of good things come with getting fully vaccinated. So it just makes sense, right? So at least to me, it does. It makes sense. It just makes sense. So, if you have any questions or comments about anything that was discussed on this episode or previous episodes, feel free to hit us up on both our Facebook and Twitter pages, which our Facebook is facebook.com/Courtesy Call Podcast. And our Twitter is @Courtesy Call for you. That's the @ symbol, Courtesy Call, the number 4, and uppercase letter U. And let me know your questions or comments, and I'll address them on the next episode, episode 28, which I have addressed earlier in this episode, that will not be available for download until 2 weeks from today, which will be Sunday, August 22nd, 2021 on IPMNation.com. So, do it up. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend, or what's left of it. It looks pretty rainy out there, and it looks like we're gonna get some thunder boomers, some thunder later on. It definitely looks definitely completely different from yesterday. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Yesterday was gorgeous, partly cloudy but still gorgeous. And now today it's kind of gross. So, what are you gonna do? I hope the last couple weeks were good for you guys. I hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys went out and enjoyed some things. Those who are fully vaccinated went out, enjoyed some events, hung out with some family members, did some good things and such. I know that I had pretty fun last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks for me were mostly fun. Some of it was a lot of work, but some of it was fun. I had some fun, including I went to a Red Sox game about 2 weeks ago. Saw the Red Sox play the Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays, for the first game of that series, and had a good time at Fenway. Had a Fenway Frank. Had a lot of fun. I was in good company. I was with some of my friends at Fenway Park, and we had a good time. Got to see number 99, Alex Verdugo, hit a bomber out to right field, and got the game-winning runs in there. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to see. So yeah, it's been fun. I hope the next 2 weeks for you guys are going to be fun. Hope you guys are going to go out and enjoy some sun. I know it's been rainy lately, but there are some days where it's going to be nice out. Hope you guys are going to get out and enjoy that. I know for me, in the next couple weeks from now until episode 28, which will, August 22nd, I'll be doing some pretty fun things. Let's see. Later on today, I'm going to be doing some things with my lady and maybe her mother at some point. Going out and maybe doing some gardening or some shopping, running some errands, stuff like that. Tomorrow, going to look at a new house, potential house to move in within the next year or so. Who knows? Housing market's ridiculous. I've expressed my anger and frustrations about that on previous episodes, but we're at bay, but it doesn't mean we're not going to take a look while we're waiting for the market to calm down, right? So I got some fun things going on. Going to do a Lake Sunapee cruise, a little lake cruise for a couple hours on Wednesday with my lady and her mother. So looking to do that. It'll be a lot of fun. But next week's supposed to be a packed week for me, a very busy week for me, starting with Saturday. Saturday the 14th, I have another road race that I'm running here in Concord. So looking forward to that, getting ready for that on the 14th. And then the 15th, which will be a week from today, I will be on the Isles of Shoals. My lady and I are taking my mother to the Isles of Shoals for the day. And I don't think I've ever been to the Isles of Shoals, so I'm really looking forward to it. We're gonna go walk the island, check out things that are on the island, go visit some shops, check out the hotel and some other amenities that are on there, some other historical parts of the island. So I believe the whole island's historical. So, and my lady's a big history buff, so she's gonna love it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm sure my mom will like the views as well. So it should be a fun time a week from today on the Isles of Shoals, and then the following day, on the 16th, I'll be taking off to New York City with a friend of mine, as we will be in the city from the 16th until the 18th, doing various things. The 16th, I will be at the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City, as a friend of mine and I will be guest audience members on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That's right, we're going to be audience guests on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and get to see the Colbert man himself up close and personal, and his wonderful jazz musician, John Baptiste. So definitely looking forward to that for the 16th. So, and it'll be taped and shown on that following evening at 11:35. So on CBS, I believe. So yes. And then the next following day, we're doing some sightseeing, and then we're going to go to another baseball game as we're going to check out the infamous rivalry of Red Sox and Yankees at Yankee Stadium. That's right. We're going to see the second game. There's two games that day. There's a doubleheader. There's one at 1 and there's one at 7. We'll be at the 7 o'clock game. Red Sox and Yanks at Yankee Stadium. Never been to Yankee Stadium. This will be my first time, so I'm excited about that. So we're going to do that, and then I believe the next day we're taking off to Worcester to check out the Worcester Red Sox at Polo Park on the 18th, and they're taking on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, who are the AAA affiliates for the New York Yankees, and as you know, the Worcester Red Sox are the AAA affiliates of the Boston Red Sox. So they replaced the Pawtucket Red Sox. So that'll be fun. So a whole week will be full of lots of fun activities. So from the 14th on, 14th road race, 15th Isles of Shoals, 16th special guest audience member on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and then the 17th Red Sox Yankees at Yankee Stadium, and then the 18th will be the Worcester Red Sox taking on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders in Worcester at Polo Park. And then I come back home and I go back into other responsibilities and regiments. So should be a fun couple weeks. Can't wait. So something to look forward to. All right. Now it is time for the Headhunt segment. For those who have not listened to previous episodes, don't know what the Headhunt segment is, I'll briefly describe what the Headhunt segment is. It basically, I go on online resources, such as like Facebook, probably social media most likely, Facebook, Twitter, whatnot. And lately it's been Facebook. I'm finding most of the articles. And I find articles that are posted from other sources, like CNN, MSNBC, or other news networks or other sources. And I find the comments that people have left or questions that they left underneath that I feel are lacking substance or have yet been answered. And I add my 2 cents worth and try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So that's pretty much the headhunt segment. So this article is off from CNN's Facebook page. I have described many, many times, or have addressed many, many times in previous episodes, that they're one of my main go-tos. I even said that earlier in this episode, as I find them to be one of the most trusted and factual sources to get, information. So, and this is an article that was posted yesterday morning that says U.S. visa bans for some Chinese students could have implications for the quality of American research and inspire talented STEM graduates to take their skills back to China, experts warn. And it's an article, pretty much the headline says, the former guy, his error policy that shut out top Chinese students could be hurting America more than Beijing. So this means because he's so prejudiced. He really is. The former guy is so prejudiced. He doesn't like many ethnic groups. And he has insulted China many, many times. And people of China many, many times. And now this is just... It's hurting because, they're going back to China, taking all their skills back to China. The Chinese had a lot of their students here, and or a lot of their citizens here going to school, becoming students, becoming well educated, and then, contributing some of those skills to, technology companies and technology firms here in the U.S., which will help the U.S. develop, good products, really good products. And, now that they're feeling like they don't belong here, they're going to go over to China and take their skills there, which we're not going to get, those skills, the knowledge, the gift that Chinese people have with technology. We're going to lose that and not have an advanced edge, to developing, innovative products. So this is very insulting by the former guy. The former guy has insulted them, and this is hurting our country. So, and a woman by the name of Elaine had commented underneath this article saying, I personally don't think we should be training Chinese citizens for anything. Whoa. They are communist. They're a communist country with tons of human rights violations and not our allies. Really, Elaine? Really? So they haven't bailed us out of debt numerous times? They don't have... have never contributed to technology and have cut us deals with some of their technology equipment. They have not been there to help us with our industry and our economy numerous times. And, and their fabulous Americanized restaurant establishments, we have not, utilized that or became big fans of. And now you're just saying, let's just throw them out. We shouldn't teach them anything. We shouldn't tell them anything. I have some friends who are Chinese. I think every country has those group of people that cannot be trusted, right? We have some of them here in the U.S. We have Russia has one, Germany has one, Japan. Everybody has those group of people that just, could be, like I said, not trustworthy. But I know a lot of Chinese people out there are very trustworthy. I think overall, they look to do good and do what's right for the future and for this world. And it's our ignorance that pushes them away, and it makes us know better. It makes us ignorant and hurt other countries. And it makes us look bad. Some of the stuff that we do makes us look really bad. So I would say that overall, Chinese people are good people. They are good people. It's our, pardon my language, it's our, what do we say, douchey ways that hurts our reputation, that make it so, these other people from other countries don't like us. And they want to retaliate. And you can't blame them. Not that it's the right thing to do. Retaliating is not the right thing to do. But you can't blame them because of some of the things that we've done, some of the things that the former guy has done. So I would take your comment. I'll say your comment's a lot of line. I think it's inaccurate. And I think it should be the exact opposite. We should teach them a lot of things. We should teach them a lot of things here in the schools. I think we should bring a lot of Chinese citizens here to help us with technology and help us with our technological firms. And I think they should, contribute their skills here in the U.S. I think I'm all for that. So that's my 2 cents worth on that. All right, this next article is off from MSNBC's Facebook page, another source that I trust very, very much. And this article is about COVID-19. It says 18% of migrant families leaving Border Patrol custody positive for COVID. So it looks like that these immigrants that came to this country who test positive for COVID being sent back to their country. I don't know. The article says more than 18% of migrant families and 20% of unaccompanied minors who recently crossed the U.S. border tested positive for COVID-19 on leaving Border Patrol custody over the past 2 or 3 weeks, briefing document says. And a woman by the name of Nancy commented, the Biden administration needs to address this. Why aren't we testing and vaccinating folks? As a Dem voter, I agree that this isn't helping and they need to fix this. Fox News is having a field day with this too. It's not helping if they're basically reporting that these migrants are the reason for the spikes across the country, which is the narrative they're running with. It's a way to move responsibility from the unvaccinated migrants. We need data, facts, and a plan to combat this. You know, I'm going to say I don't agree with this entirely. I mean, I would say part of this I agree with. I agree with part of this. You know, I agree that we should be vaccinating people more. We've been trying to get people vaccinated. We can't force people to get vaccinated because we're America and we did a somewhat mistake of giving people full rights and full freedom, I guess. And they choose not to get vaccinated and be ignorant about it. But we can't do anything about it. We can only add incentives and encourage them to, like I've said before. And that's what's going on. But yes, here's what I believe. I believe that immigrants, anybody who comes into this country, anybody who's tested positive, it's probably best that they stay in their country, recover and deal with it in their country than to come over here and cause the spread to get worse. Because we have controlled this thing. We have controlled this thing. And now we're looking to get it under control more. And to have immigrants and people from other countries coming in here who are testing positive, it's making the situation worse. It's arousing it, and it's going to cause more of an issue. So I feel that, yes, it's terrible. It feels really bad that they have to be sent back to their country, but this is for what's best. Other countries are doing terrible. Other countries are terrible. They mistreat their people. They don't have much resources. They can't do much for their people as much as other countries like us. Or they can't do much. They have poor ways of living or being or whatnot. So here's what I say. What I've been saying for years. We need to go to other countries and help them out in their country. Go help repair the broken home. Don't bring them into another home. Help them repair the broken home that they have. And so they can become sufficient, so they can live well and better, and so that they don't have to be so eager to come here into the United States. You know, fix the problem where it is. Don't abandon it and go somewhere else. You know, that's where my opinion is on it. So I believe, yes, if they test positive, stay in your country. I understand your country must be terrible, uncomfortable, and bad, and not a good place to be, but we got to get this thing under control. Once we get this thing under control, then we'll be more apt and open to bring more immigrants here in the country to contribute to the U.S. and to be here to for a better way to be, a better place to be. So let's get this thing under control and dealt with, and then we can be more open to bringing immigrants back into this country, or more immigrants back into this country. So this next article is off of WMUR News 9's Facebook page. For those who do not know who WMUR News 9 is, for those who live here in the Granite State, it's our major news, or it's our main news source here in the Granite State. So Channel 9 News, WMUR, yes. It's one the same, and this is off their Facebook page. And this article is about the January 6th riot, the January 6th insurrection, which is the investigation for is still going on to find those who are responsible. And as things develop, let's see. This article says the pair of plea deals with federal prosecutors could be a benchmark for dozens of other cases against Capitol rioters. It says 2 Capitol rioters have entered the first guilty pleas for assaulting police, which is good. This is good because that whole event is horrific to begin with. There's definitely people who need to be held accountable. And, it's one thing to damage some property, to storm Capitol, cause disruption, and to state your, vulgar, language, or state your opinion in vulgar language. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to maliciously beat a police officer and assault them. That's borderline. That's crossing the line. That is crossing the line. They are the law. You respect the law. So I'm glad that they're now pleading guilty, realize that they did wrong, and are going to be held accountable. So plea bargains is a joke, I think, in this situation, because they were not just police officers, they were Capitol police officers, which is, I'm sorry, but a little upper in the ranks, in my opinion. So any police officer, anybody in general, definitely need to be held accountable. Absolutely. And this man by the name of Hank commented, only Trumpers, former guy supporters, would feel an assault on our democracy was no big deal. And I agree. There's a comment I fully agree with. I fully agree that it's no big deal, that it's, that it was just them expressing their anger, exercising their American right, supposedly, and they have every right to go in there, storm the Capitol, break stuff, and assault a police officer. That's okay in their minds. Which, you know what tells me? Tells me a lot of the former guy supporters are sick in the head. Sick in the head, mentally screwed up. They just don't understand. They're so not mentally there. They're deranged. They're deranged, and they need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable, and they're so sick, very mentally ill, and need to be held accountable. And hopefully that will set the record straight. That hey, you want to storm a government building and cause ruckus and be disruptive and assault police officers and assault law officials, you're going to be held accountable. This is what's going to happen. You're going to be thrown in prison. I hope to get a harsh sentence. A plea bargain, like I said, is a joke. I hope to get sent away for a long time. I hope they get a hefty sentence, because this should not be tolerated. But all right, well, that concludes the Headhunt segment. Again, any questions or comments that pertain to anything that was discussed, feel free to add your questions or comments to our Facebook or Twitter page, facebook.com/courtesy call podcast, or our Twitter, which is @courtesy call for you. That's the @ symbol, courtesy call, the number 4, and uppercase letter U. All right, now it is time for the 2 societal topics of my choice. Now, this is where I go into issues with society, issues that are going on within society that I feel like need to be addressed at this point in time, that people need to be aware of and should understand. And I add my 2 cents worth in hopes that whoever's listening will find some educational value and some understanding with it. So I do want to give a little bit of a review of some of the past topics that I've discussed. One of the most popular ones, you know which one this is. Of course, I am talking about traffic violations and driver's etiquette. People still drive like crazy. It's going to happen for a long time. That people are not going to are not going to follow the rules of the road. They're going to invade people's safety. They're going to go 90 on a 65. They're going to go 50 on a 30, and who are going to, go maybe, 35 on a 10. Some go 45, which is horrendous because there's usually kids around there. There's kind of, but yeah, you're going to have people not signal within 100 feet, probably within 5 feet, just completely not mindful on the road. And I've seen a lot of this still. I mean, during my commutes, during my, my travels, I do see like tons of drivers like blowing right past another driver, not even signaling, or stopping suddenly to take the turn that they didn't realize was right there, to kind of like almost T-bone someone, to blow a red light or a stop sign completely. It's ridiculous. And there's no question as to why there's so many accidents these days. I see at least three to five of them every other day. And it's, say it's every other day. That's still an outrageous amount. And there's no question as to why that is. People are driving like idiots out there. You need to be mindful. Get a driver's ed manual and follow it. Because apparently you chucked yours out the window the minute you got your license. Or you chucked it out a long time ago. Drive responsibly, please. And you could say, not me, and then boom, it happens. Be respectful of others and yourself. Please. Thank you. Also, another thing is customer service. That still, completely sucks. That still completely sucks today. I can't go to a store without getting much help. I see a lot of workers standing around, talking, having a conversation. And, when they have like a line of customers, it's like, take care of your customers first. Customers always come first. They're the ones that bring money into the business and, essentially give you your paycheck. Stop treating stop treating your job as if it's a social club, and stop neglecting your customers. They're very important. And stop trying to argue with them when they are correct on something. If you did something, or if you don't know what you're talking about an item or a certain thing that's in the store, don't give them hogwash. And when they call you out on it, just own up to it that you don't know what you're talking about. Good customer service is very important. Good customer service is extremely important. It's so customers will keep coming to your business, keep giving you business. You will work harder. The time will fly. The time will go by real quick, and you'll have a fatter paycheck. You have a bigger paycheck. That's what good customer service means. And it means that everybody's treated fairly and there's no issues. Okay? So keep customer service in check. Keep it good. All right, so now let's get to the issues. This one's big. This one's pretty big. This one has to do with actual working. This has to do with working on the job and stresses on the job. And this is something that I feel that a lot of managers and a lot of HR representatives should take note on. This topic is about hours versus pay. Okay? Amount of hours that you work versus the pay that you get. I have heard and witnessed many people boasting and gloating, bragging about working 50, 60, 70, even 80 or 90 hours a week. Like it's some sort of highly respectable act, like it's some huge accomplishment, big accomplishment or something. And at first, I applaud them. I clap my hands and I'm like, wow, congratulations to you. Congratulations to anyone who can get that, who can go that long and work that much and make it through the week. Congratulations, bravo. But then I take a second and I say to myself, wait a minute. Wait. You're working all those hours and just to get by. You're working all those hours just to get by. That is just sad. That is sad. As no one should have to work that much and work that many hours to get by. Definitely no one should work that much and barely get by. The objective is to work less and make more. That's the point, what I believe. Work less, make more. Doesn't mean you're sitting around, twiddling your thumbs, lollygagging for like a good chunk of your shift and only working maybe like 20% of it or 25% of it at the most. No. It means that you're working less hours, but the hours you do work, you're working hard every minute. That's the way I would like to do it. Work hard every minute of those hours. That to me is ideal. That would be good. So you have more time to do things. You know, to someone, and you know, the true point, and someone may ask, what do I mean by, you know, ideal for someone to get roughly 25 to 30 hours a week, making over 25 an hour, then working 50 to 70 hours a week with an hourly wage of less than 15 under, you know, 400 weekly. You know, and that's just, I don't see that, that's just not ideal. I much rather have like 35, you know, 30 to 35 hours a week and work every minute of them to get a higher pay, making about 30 or more. That'd be great, right? Opposed to working maybe about, you know, $10, $12 an hour and having to work 60, 70 hours a week just to get by, because economy is outrageous. You know, inflation is through the roof, and cost of living is just like at its, you know, high, very high peak, very high rate. So you can't, you know, it's just to find jobs like that. And how are you going to do that? You have to be credible. You have to have an education. You have to have experience. You have to be able to push and work hard and show what you can do to your employer. Yeah, I agree. There's some jobs that you do that and they don't care. You're stuck in the same spot. You worked your butt off for years and years and years, and you're not even given a damn promotion. I get it. But if you got to think, if you're not getting anywhere you want to go in that job, should you stay? Or should you look for a job where, you know, job growth is well acclimated there and well implemented there? You know, you should think about that. I understand there's a lot of jobs out there that sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get promoted. It takes a little bit longer to get those extra hours, that extra or the higher pay, you know, but you gotta weigh out the balance here. You know, most jobs should be, and I would say to the employers out there and those who run and own their own companies, you should be, you know, implementing job growth in your company. You should, because that's what's going to make the employees stay, to know that they could get promoted. You know, as long as they work hard, they can get promoted within, you know, a year or less, or maybe within 2 or 3 years at the most. You know, if they work hard enough, they can get promoted. People look for job growth, and that's what keeps them staying in the company. The belongingness, respected, but most importantly, unfortunately, it's the pay. It is the pay. That's what it's all about, is the pay. So, like I said, now I understand that, you know, it's a little more difficult to do in today's job market to find jobs that, you know, pay more and have you work less hours. But there are definitely a good amount of options out there for the ambitious and hard worker. I believe some of the reason why people are, and correct me if I'm wrong, are working more and making, you know, less has to do with the economy, like I said. But I also believe that a good amount of people out there that are not ambitious. There are so many people out there that are not ambitious at all and don't take the necessary steps to get by, but yet complain. They complain that they don't make that much money. They complain they work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. They complain that they had to do all this and that, but they're not willing to take the necessary steps to add to their credibility to be able to make a bigger wage. That's the truth right there. You know? Look, if anyone, and I mean anyone, takes the necessary steps towards being productive and reaching goals, they will find that there is a lot of opportunity out there as long as they work hard towards it. More than there ever was due to technology. Technology has made it easy to take advantage of more opportunities. As long as you're ambitious and as long as you work hard to get the credibility, it's easy to do because of technology. Things have never been easier because of technology. The only way it gets harder is if you let it. If you let yourself get distracted from obtaining your goals and your dreams, which technology can do, which is why you have to learn to use technology responsibly. If you allow yourself to be more disciplined and believe in yourself more, you can accomplish a lot more than you think. So discipline yourself. Keep that discipline. Okay? And just like dieting, think of dieting with food. You know, you overeat, you get fat, right? You overeat too much, you can get fat. It's like the same thing with technology. We need to, dieting with food, you have to learn how to, it's everything in moderation, right? Anything in moderation. Everything in moderation is what they say, what dietitians usually say, most dietitians say. I say the same thing with technology. Use technology in moderation. Use it wisely. Know what the right sources to use all the time is. And if you want to use it for recreational uses, use it in moderation. Don't overly use the technology for other recreational uses or to get yourself distracted from your goals. Because in that case, I can tell you right now, America is fat. America is very fat with technology. That we overfill ourselves with technology and overfill ourselves with, services out there and other sources. So use it in moderation, be disciplined and believe in yourself, and you accomplish a lot more than you think. All right. So the second and last topic of this segment and the episode is a very popular one as well. People may feel a lot of this during, at work or trying to perform a task or even their own household. Who knows? But this one's a very popular one. This one is about, the second topic is about stress. It's about stress. We naturally experience it from our daily activities like work, errands, some events, and other responsibilities that comes with, being an adult. That's part of being an adult. And some of us experience it unnaturally from being mistreated by others. One set of stresses we should be able to deal with, and the other we need to get rid of and avoid. Stress is very common. Like I said, it's very common in this world. Very common. So, and it's very common these days. And, but at the very abnormal level, due to people out there lacking mindfulness and consideration. Employers putting too much weight on our shoulders by throwing too much work and more than we can handle, throughout our shifts, and putting too much on our plate. So-called friends abandoning their promises and their word, and to be there, they have to be there during the bad times and the good times. Drivers not being mindful of safety, like I said earlier, on the roads, and people handling their anger irresponsibly. These are examples of unnatural stresses. We have been dealing this for quite some time now, and we all need to learn how to avoid encountering these stresses often. I know you may be thinking, how? How can I avoid all these unnatural stresses, right? It seems impossible to avoid these days, Well, you won't be able to avoid these things completely, as some of these things will head your way, and you will deal with some of these. But you can reduce the amount of times you encounter these stresses and these triggers by following these steps below. Okay, these are the examples how you can reduce the amount of unnatural stresses that you encounter. Okay. This first one is don't be afraid to cut ties with people who mistreat you. Allow yourself to give the 3-strike rule to these people without being too sensitive about it. Give someone 3 strikes to correct themselves for being toxic or harmful to you. And on the 3rd strike, cut them loose. Those who hang out with those who influence toxic behavior are bound to continue to suffer from being mistreated. Be bold and stern about it. You can do it. Don't tolerate employers overloading your workload. I believe, I talked about this many, many times, like 2 or 3 years ago. And I talked about this for several episodes on the show. Stay committed to your job and realize that natural stresses come from this, but doesn't mean you have to tolerate them. You don't have to have an employer use you as a rented mule. You need to let them know that when too much is too much. Let them know when too much is too much. Draw the line. And if they cross it, do exactly what I recommend in the previous step. Leave. Some employers will promise you generous compensation for going above and beyond on the job. And they'll say, just stay here. We'll give you this extra pay. We'll give you a bonus, free items, free points to this and that, yada. And it's all to keep you in, which, some incentives can work. They can. But here's the thing. Some employers don't deliver. Some of them will promise you, but you wait forever to get them or you don't get them at all. And if they don't provide, then leave. It's simple as that. Say, we were in a contract, we were in agreement that, if I stayed, you were going to compensate me, you're going to give me this, you're going to give me that, give me this, and now you're failing to do so. You're not holding your end of the deal and your end of the bargain. So I'm not going to hold mine. I am leaving the company. I am seeking other employment. Goodbye. You don't need to deal with stuff that enables you to be in a rotation of nonsense. Employers, you need to respect your employers. You definitely need to respect their word, but they need to respect you as well. And they can't step over the line. And they've been known to do that lately. They can't do that, especially if they're rude to you. If they're rude and disrespectful, you don't tolerate that. You leave, okay? Because it's better to be at a job where, things might be stressful, but you're not disrespected, than be at one that you are disrespected. So employers need to know, like I said, employers need to know that there is a limit and, to what they can do. And if there are consequences for stepping over the line. So that's kind of like, one of those steps. And there's a last one. The last one I want to say is, for stresses that are on the road, you're going to run into stresses on the road while you're driving. I run into a lot of them. I see tons of road rage because people are very irresponsible on the road. While on the road, keep a safe amount of distance between you and other drivers. I would do that to avoid getting hit or getting close to being hit or having to slam on your brake every 10 seconds. As some of you frequent listeners know, I constantly rant about poor drivers all the time. I just did. It's something that definitely needs to be handled. And there's something that you can do to help, though. There's a lot of things you can do to help. Look and signal before turning. Don't turn within the 5 feet where you turn, from your turn. Turn onto another lane or another road. Don't go more than 5 or 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. If you need to go a little bit fast to get to work on time, go a little bit fast, but not more than 5 to 10 miles per hour over the speed limit. So, try to avoid road rage at all costs, because road rage is another form of stress. And, it can get to you. It can cloud your mind. It can stop you from concentrating, and you can run into a whole new problem, make more mistakes because you're not thinking straight from the stress, that you now got more problems than you initially started with. So it's better to take the necessary steps, calm yourself down, avoid the nonsense, and do what's good for your mind and good for your health and focus. Okay? So, all right. Well, that is it. We have reached the end of the episode. That concludes the episode 27. I want to thank IPMNation.com's president and CEO, Matt Connerton, for giving us the spot. And of course, all you listeners for tuning in. Please tune in to episode 28, which will not air until 2 weeks from now, which I'll discuss more developments on President Biden's infrastructure bill. More outrageous, wacky stuff from the former guy. New developments on Governor Cuomo's sexual harassment case and investigation. And let's see, more headhunt segment and 2 more societal topics of my choice. That'll be episode 28, which will air 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from today, which will be Sunday, August 22nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. on IPMNation.com. Also, don't forget to check out Matt Connerton's Matt Connerton Unleashed, weekdays at 4 p.m. on 95.3 WMNH and right here on IPMNation.com. All right. On behalf of Courtesy Call Podcast, I am your host, Scott Perry. Be kind, be mindful, and do your part. Enjoy your week. New York City, here I come.